welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie, and welcome to day 2 countdown to Christmas diamond painting style. I am so excited to be sharing with you this year, and I have got some plans for each day. But yesterday we completed this one section here. This is the start of lips, and we have a little butterfly here. I love the colors in this. I love the shine. Now today for day 2, we are way up here. So I'm going to have to turn this around and probably work on it upside down so that I am able to see it. And then once I finish, of course, I'll flip it around for you guys to see as well. If you happen to hear, and it just came on, so I know you probably have already, but if you happen to hear some background noise, it is actually my heat that has come on. I'm in the basement, so it is a little loud, and I do apologize for that. I have tried in the past to kind of edit it out, but it really doesn't help that much. So I just have it on. It shouldn't stay on very long, but it is really, really cold today. I also have my heater on, so I am nice and toasty, but it is a little loud, and I do, again, apologize for that. So we're working on 2. I'm going to go ahead and uncover 2, and I'm going to kind of rearrange this a little bit, make it to where it's a little easier. Okay, so we have quite a bit of white that I'm working on today, and it looks like some flowers. So let's get started. Let me know how you guys are doing. I know it's just been a day, but how are things going with you guys? I hope that everybody is well. I am using an More Zest tray today. I'm just changing trays around every day. I'm going to be changing pins out tomorrow. Now this could be, I hope my head is not in here, but we'll see. Hopefully I am going to be able to stay far back enough to where my head isn't in this. I may need to load some more putty in my multi-placer, and I need to also go online and see who has some Christmas putty scents. I thought I had some left over from last year of Randa's, but apparently I used it all. Or my daughter has it, so I need to place a small order. I have placed a couple of orders with Patsy Putty, and that should be coming in soon. I really do like her putty, and she is out of Nashville, and my family lives in Nashville, so I think that's really cool. And whenever I order, I get it fairly quickly because it's not too far. Nashville is not too far from Georgia, so that's really nice that when I order, I do get it fairly quickly. She's also on Etsy. I have a small shop haul. I can't decide how I want to do it. If I just want to show you on one of my daily Decembers, or if I want to do a separate one. But I have a couple of Christmas trays that have come in, and I also have a gorgeous pin from North Alchemist, and this one has a ribbon in it. I'm not using that one today. It just came in yesterday, and I need to add a multi-placer to it and also a single placer because it did not come with any tips, which is fine. I knew it didn't, but it came in late last night, and I need to do that, so I might use that one tomorrow. But I don't know if I want to do additional videos. I will have 2 videos on Wednesdays. So for any of you that are listening, that's part of Sparkle Addiction. I've had a couple of people who have emailed and asked me. I will have a separate video on Wednesdays, just like I've been doing for our event. Of course, anybody is welcome to it. I'll probably just do an update, if I even have one, on Sugar Plum Fairy. I do have an update from the last time, so I'll be able to do that this upcoming week. And then I don't know what I'll do the next week. That just depends. But I'll definitely have 2 videos on Wednesdays. That's primarily the only time, unless something comes up and I really don't want to wait until January. I want to go ahead and show you guys. And part of that is my small shop haul, because I do want to use some of my new little things that I've gotten, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to play it by ear, because right now I am crazy busy at work, also busy trying to get these videos, because I want you guys to have them about the same time every day. And then I am working on the cross stitch conversion mystery, and let me tell you, it's been a lot of fun. But for day 1 on the mystery, it took me a very long time. I was starting to actually get concerned, because I thought, if it takes me this long to do one day or one section, because there's 25 sections, so there's one per day, then there's not any way that I'm going to be able to do this. So then when I did the second day, I've been working on that today, and I looked at it and I changed up how I was going to work on it, and so that has sped it up quite a bit more than what it already was, which was very good. It's still a little bit slower than how I want it to be, because it's not that large of a section, but it's taken more time than I expected. But what I suggest, and I can't show this, I could show day 1, but I can't show day 2 yet. But what I do suggest, that if you're working on the cross stitch conversion from Diamond Art UK, then what I started to do, and this is what took me a very long time. And for those of you that are new to cross stitch conversion, this may help you. And for those of you that are familiar with a cross stitch conversion where you convert it into a diamond painting, if you're working on this and you have any suggestions or tips for me, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. But the first time I did it, I just used the paper pattern that they sent with the canvas, and that just didn't work for me. I thought, well, I'll just use a pen and I'll just mark it off, no big deal. Well, I kept losing my place, and it was just awful. Couldn't figure out what color I was using, and it was a pain. I mean, it really was. And so I thought, if it's gonna be like this, I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to do this. So then I finally was able to get it to load properly into Markup, and that is an app for Apple users. I also use Pattern Keeper, and I think that I prefer Pattern Keeper. I've been experimenting with Markup on that particular project, and I thought, well, I messed with it with Pattern Keeper, could not get it to load properly. And then I would finally get it to where I had the grids and everything were fine, but then when I went to save it onto my tablet, it just kept rolling and it would not save, and then finally it would time out. And it did it several times, and so finally I just gave up. And I thought, well, it's no big deal, we'll just use the paper. Well, yeah. Nope, that did not work for me at all. So then, after the first day, on day 2 that I started on earlier today, I was able to load it into Markup, and it loaded fine. And when it loads, it does separate it by the grids in 10, like how you would normally have a converted cross stitch pattern. And so what I did, is that I took a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and I went through and marked my own grid lines onto the canvas. If you do it lightly, a Sharpie is not going to cause any problems. You're not going to be able to see the black lines through your canvas. And I did that, and I did it in sections of 10, just like I would if I were doing a cross stitch conversion that I have done in the past and on my channel. So I did that, and I just did it in sections of 10, and that helped out tremendously. So I'm going to continue to do that, but I only did like one 10 by 10 section at a time. And so on day 3, I am going to do more than that, just like I would do on my massive cross stitch conversion. So I think that's going to save some time for me as well. But I also had a difficult time because with markup, it did not show the colors of what the colors, the DMC colors are. And so everything was coming up, when I would mark it, was coming up with the same color. So that got me really confused. And so I think I'm going to, on day 3, I'm going to take about 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to put colors, the correct color for all of the actual symbols. And I think by doing that, then that's going to help me also. Because I kept looking at it and I thought, well, I can't figure out what color this is. I can't figure out what I've done. And it's not that much on each day, or so far it hasn't been, to where you can't remember, what the symbols are. But it would be so much easier, I think, to see it in color. And I'm uploading one at a time. So I'm doing each day. Once I finish that day, then I am going to delete that one and then upload another one. So hopefully that's going to save some time. But I think once I get a couple of days, 2 or 3 days behind me, then I will be okay. And that's the plan. So also what I'm going to do is, instead of having it on my channel every day or every other day, it would have to be at least a day after the day that the actual section's on. So for instance, if I wanted to show you today, I could not show you day 2. I would have to wait and put day 3 up. So I think I am going to do maybe a weekly additional video on that one, and just show you, okay, I have this many done this week, and this is what I have, but it has to be before that or after that date. And also on the Facebook group, it does say that you need to wait and not put anything on your channel until after that particular day. And there's going to be one video that's going to be like a how-to video that they have actually approved. And I don't know who the video is by. I'm kind of assuming, and I probably shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming that it's More Zest that's doing it. Maybe it's Katie Diamonds and Washi. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's one of the two. I could be totally wrong. I'm just guessing. But they're going to have a how-to video, and they're the only ones that have been approved to do it. So otherwise, I would show you how I'm making the marks, and that way you would be able to see. And if anybody needs some help with that, I will be glad to help you, and we can just set up a time, and I can either do it on Zoom with you guys, but you would not be able to see. It would be a day that would be before whatever day it is. But I can show you on a blank, section that I haven't started on, how I am just taking the 10 by 10 and doing it that way. And I think that's going to be the best. And I honestly, I'm sure a lot of people can do it, but if you are new to cross stitch conversion, I don't know if I would suggest to use the paper. If you have been cross-stitching for a long time and you're used to reading a pattern that's, on paper, then you should probably be okay. But I have not cross-stitched like that in many, many, many years. I mean, it's been at least 20 years since I have done a cross-stitch like that. So for me, I think that's why I struggled. But if you're like an avid cross-stitcher, you'll probably don't have any problems and you'll be able to just whiz right through there, unlike me, which was very slow. So that's just my take on what I have discovered so far on the cross-stitch conversion. I hope that I can stay caught up with it. I am just spilt drills. Of course I did. I am not 100% confident right now that I am going to be able to stay caught up, or I like to stay ahead and just take photos, and then before I get too far ahead, make a video for you guys just to show you my progress. That is my plan. That's the hope, but I don't know. I just looked at this. I thought, oh, this is going to be a breeze, no problem. But it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's not difficult. It is just time consuming. And with me trying to get all of these videos out, plus I am still working, and I want to get I really want to get other canvases done as well, such as my Sugar Plum Fairy. I really want to get her finished. So I'm trying to get ahead of schedule. So some of my videos are going to be a few days early. You won't see them, but I don't want to get behind is what I'm kind of concerned about. Okay, let's see. I need another color. This is a V. This is a darker section that I'm working on. So some of these are kind of hard to see. I probably, if I was smart, I would have gotten my light pad and used it. But I didn't think I would need it. And now I am like struggling a little bit. Just because these are a little bit darker, and it's kind of dark in my room today. And it's nice and sunny out. So I don't know why it's so dark in here. Being in the basement sometimes is not the best thing. But I love my room. I don't want to be upstairs. Let's see. We still haven't gotten our Christmas tree up yet. Hopefully we were going to go and get a tree on, I think, the 3rd or 4th. If it's not raining, it's supposed to rain all weekend, this weekend. So as long as it's just drizzling, we can go and get a tree. And at the least, if we don't get a tree, my husband said he would at least get up in the attic for me, and I can get everything down. We can get everything down except for we just can't put the tree up. But I have a lot of decorations that I sit out around the house, so we'll be able to do that. I want to get all of my little Scentsy warmers out and change out from the fall, and I still have a Halloween. I forgot all about that. We bought a new Halloween decoration, and I had it on the mantle. And so Paige, my daughter, reminded me last night. She said, "You know, you still have the skeletons up there. The skeletons that just got married, and they're in a horse and carriage." And I'm like, "Oh yes, I forgot all about that." So I do need to put that up. I don't know where I'm going to put it. We just bought that this year. So hopefully I'll go ahead and get that put up before I get my Christmas stuff, because that would be kind of weird to have that. And then I'm trying to get the house straightened up. I'd like to get it nice and clean before I put the tree, because then once I start getting all of my decorations out, it is impossible to try to clean around all the decorations. It is just, we have way too many decorations. My dogs are also in, so if you hear them moving around a little bit, that's why. Normally they would prefer to be outside, but it is just too cold. And even my collie, who just loves cold weather, she went outside, and I mean, she flew out. She ran around the yard twice. She did whatever she needed to do, and she came back in. She did not want to stay out, but then she will probably she'll be crying all day long, wanting to go in, wanting to go out. That's what she always does. But it's really funny because usually I have to beg her to come in, and she was at the door before I was even at the door to come in and get her. She was waiting on me. This is a really weird angle where I am right now. I'm having to really stretch, which is okay, but then I can't see. I'm not blind, but let's see. Okay, I think there's a V here. I was looking at some tag questions, and one of the tag questions that I saw that I thought was pretty cool is that it said, what are some of your favorite foods that you only make around Christmas time, around the holidays? And immediately I thought of desserts. I didn't think of food, but the first thing that came to my mind was divinity. I don't know if anybody still makes divinity. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but my grandmother used to make the best divinity. And basically it's just a big ball of sugar. But she was so good at making divinity. She would make it for everybody, and she would put it in some really nice bowls and wrap it up, and sometimes she would give that as Christmas presents to some of her friends. But when she made her divinity, and she also made the best fudge, and so I would help her, but she would not make divinity or fudge unless she checked the weather first. And if there was any signs of rain whatsoever, she would not make the divinity. It had to be perfect temperature, it had to be perfect weather, and sometimes she wouldn't even be able to make it. But I used to love just sitting there and making divinity with her, and then especially eating it. I could eat so much of that stuff. And I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you when the last time that I actually had divinity. It has been that long. But she also made the best fudge, and I have both of her recipes, but I've never tried to make divinity. I guess I could. I don't think my family would even like it. I don't think my kids have ever even had it. But I thought, I might try to do that this year. We'll see. And then there are special cookies, certain cookies that we'd only make at Christmas, and I still do those. And then we have this sugar cookie recipe that Paige loves to make. It's very easy, but she likes it because you can, what I do is I have some cookie cutters, and so we will make different designs with the cookies, and she loves doing that. And then she will put icing on it. We make our own homemade icing for the sugar cookies, and then she likes to put sprinkles and different things on there. So we do that every year. It's not difficult at all. It's very easy, but that's something that she loves to do. So we always do that right before Christmas, because when she was little, that's what she always said that Santa wanted to eat, was her famous cookies. So she will be making those. I'll have to make sure I put that on my list and get that ready for her. And then my mom and stepfather used to make these peanut butter balls. They were chocolate peanut butter balls. And on some of them, my stepfather would add some bourbon. And then on others, he would do plain. And I didn't like the bourbon ones at all. I think that he probably used really cheap bourbon. I don't know if it would really matter if you use really good bourbon or cheap bourbon, but I don't like bourbon anyway. And I did not like those at all. They just had a really strong, it wasn't even like, to me it wasn't desirable. I liked the other ones that were just plain, but they were like big Reese's peanut butter cups. They were so good. And he only did that at Christmas, and then he would roll them up when I was younger, and then my mom and I would dip them into the chocolate. And so we ended up having an assembly line going several times because everybody really liked those. And that's something else that I haven't made either, but it makes so many, and I just haven't done that. But that was really good. And then we make other kind of cookies. We are more of a cookie family than we are a lot of pies and cakes. We don't really like pies that much. I mean, we will eat certain pies. It's nothing that, we just absolutely have to have. My grandmother used to make the best chocolate pies, and everybody loved her chocolate pies. And so even my mom would make my grandmother's recipe, and that was my dad's mom. And so I've been making that for a very long time. That was my dad's favorite dessert, was my grandmother's chocolate pie. So I'm definitely going to do that this year in honor of my dad. And then also my kids love the chocolate pies, and they really are not, they're not really sweet eaters, but they do like the chocolate pie. But they are definitely more of cookies and cupcakes. So that's usually what I stick with, is cookies and cupcakes. And then really, I don't have a particular food that I cook or a particular dinner. We are not crazy about turkey. It is just not, we'll eat it, but it's not like our favorite meat. So we usually will either get a ham, or I'll do something else. And we're going to get a ham this year, a honey baked ham. And my kids love, 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 love honey baked hams. So I'm going to do a honey baked ham. And then they do have a really good honey turkey. And I had, I guess it was a couple of years ago, they actually had samples out when I went and picked up our turkey. And we really liked it. So I think I'm going to get a small honey turkey, just so we'll have one. And then that way my daughter's fiance will be able to have turkey, because he didn't have turkey for Thanksgiving either. And I think that he likes turkey. So I'm going to need to find out. If he likes turkey, I'm going to go ahead and get a small turkey. His mom may also be joining us this year for Christmas. And so if she does, and if she likes turkey, then I will probably do that. But if not, I think we'll just have a ham. Both of my kids just love honey baked. And I don't usually get it during the year. So I guess that would be one type of food that we only have around this time of year. And then what else do we have? I do make a green bean casserole that the kids like, but I make that during the year too, every now and then. They love fried corn. That's definitely a southern dish. And so I always make fried corn around the holidays. And every once in a while, I'll make fried corn in the summer if we have some really good fresh corn. But I don't like to make it that often because it takes so much butter. The cholesterol in that is just so high. So I definitely don't do that very often. But it is really good. So what about you guys? Is there anything particular that you only cook during the holidays? And we love dressing, but I do that about twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year. So I can't really say that that is just for Christmas. Sometimes we're just in the mood for like chicken and dressing. And so I'll do that, especially in the summer. But I don't really have anything else that we really just have only during the holidays. And we've kind of veered off from traditional Christmas. I mean, we had last year, we ended up having barbecue, and it's what we had for Thanksgiving this year. One year, we actually had a crab boil, we had crab legs, we had shrimp, we had fish, and so that was definitely different. And then one year, we went on a cruise a long, long time ago, and we were sitting on a beach at the private island of the cruise that lines that we were with, and we were eating a hamburger and hot dog on a beach on a private island. And I thought, oh, this will be really cool. Nope, didn't like it. That was one thing I did not like because it was so hot. We were just sitting there on the beach, and I thought this will be really super cool, but it just wasn't Christmas. So I don't think that I'd want to do that again. And I do prefer to be home. I'd rather wake up in my own bed for Christmas. And my kids are kind of like that. But this year, Madison will be waking up at home. And so I guess she's going to like that. Being home for a few days. And now, I shouldn't have said that about Molly, my dog, because she is now starting to scratch on the door. And yesterday, she drove me insane. I was trying to work, and every few minutes, she was crying to go in. Then she was crying to go out. Then, as soon as she went out, she would run around the yard a couple of times, and then she'd want back in. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. She's like a little child. I'm like, I'm not doing this. You either go in or you go out. But I have a feeling that's how it's going to be again today. And then the weekend, I'm dreading it with it supposed to rain. That does not make her happy at all. And now, because it's colder, our cat, which I thought was really funny, I was kind of missing her last night. We were about to go to bed, and my husband said, well, she's not in her bed. She's not in her normal place down here. Go upstairs. And I look down, and she is already in our bed on my side. And she's looking at me like, you're disturbing me. And then I told her, I said, well, you're going to have to move because this is my spot. And I swear she looked at me and then she cut her head over to the corner, and that's where her bed is. And my husband started dying out laughing, and he said, I think that Salem is trying to tell you she's taking your bed tonight and you can sleep in hers. And I swear, I think that cat, I think she's extremely smart. I think she knows what she's doing. I think she knows what she's talking about. And we both just started dying out laughing. I'm like, well, she's just going to have to move because I am sleeping here. But I put another blanket on our bed because I am always cold. And my husband's not. And so he's not ready yet to put our winter blanket on. We have a really thick winter blanket. He's not quite ready for that yet. So I went ahead and put an extra blanket on just my side. And it's really soft, and Salem just loves the blanket. So she has been sleeping on it, which we usually don't let her do that, but she waits until we're asleep, and she's gotten really good because normally anything wakes me up, and she's gotten to where she is very quiet when she jumps up there, and I wake up and then I can feel her on me, and that's how I know that she's jumped up there. I'm like, okay, if you want to be on the foot of the bed, I guess it's okay. She doesn't like being cold either, but she has so much hair that I just don't see a problem why she needs to be in the bed on top of my covers. But I heard that a lot of cats are that way. This is my first cat. She is almost 9, I think. And I learn from her. And then my husband too. My husband had a cat before we had gotten married, and he was telling me all these things whenever I wanted a cat. He's like, no, you shouldn't do it. And I went ahead and did it, and now I'm like, okay, I guess I should have listened to him. So our house is very crowded with 3 animals. But they're our babies, so they will always be with us. Alright, let's see. This is a lot of yellow today. On some of this, I could have easily multi-placed, but the way that I am doing this, and it's so far away from me, I don't know if I would be able to multi-place very well. So I am just single placing this for now, which will probably take me a little bit longer, of course, but that's quite all right. I had to go to work this morning, and I had to use our copy and scanner for some exams that I had that I needed to upload to have graded. And we have gotten, they made this big deal about new printers and new scanners and copier. And so they made this big deal about it, and I went in there and somebody said, well, we've got the new printers. So I went and I looked, and I thought, this doesn't look any different than the printer we already had, that we've had for the past several years. And it's pretty much the same printer, it's just smaller. But it looks exactly the same, it works the same. They're supposed to have someone that's going to come out next week to show us how to use it. I'm like, why? Because there's not any difference. I don't see any difference in the last one, but whenever it's running, it smells kind of like plastic or something that's new. And so I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or if they're still working on it or what, but I went ahead and used it. They didn't say that we couldn't. I need an axe. My stepmother's birthday was yesterday on the 1st, and so I did call her and spoke to her for a few minutes and wished her a happy birthday and talked to my sister for a few minutes, so that was really nice. They are trying to get some of their Christmas decorations out. I don't think she's going to put much up. I don't think my sister is going to really have her put very much up. Just maybe a really small tree, but nothing large. And she has quite a bit of Christmas decorations also. I'm going to move this around a little bit, and then I'm going to put us into a time lapse. I hope that you enjoy the music, and then I will come back, show you the finish for day 2. I will open my day 2 advent calendar from More Zest, and then we will wrap it up. So I hope you enjoy the music, and let's get started.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph.
Okay guys, I am back and have finished day 2. I think it's turned out really pretty. I love the sunflower there. I love these colors, and this didn't look like it, but it had quite a bit of confetti to it. Took me a little bit longer than I thought that it would, but I do love the outcome on this. And I am loving these squares. This is the first time that I have done the squares with Diamond Art Studio UK. I have only done their rounds, and I like the rounds, but I am loving these squares. And I'm kind of a square snob, so these are really, really good. So I'm going to open up the package now. If you purchase the 24-day Advent calendar from More Zest, you may not want to watch this because I'm assuming that everyone has the same items for the same day, but I could be totally wrong. But I don't want to surprise anything, do anything for you. If you have not seen this, I do not want to disappoint you and you see the surprise. So I'm going to open this and see what is in here. And this looks like a little container. It's really pretty. I'm not sure. It looks like there's something in here. Okay, there is. I can use this container for a lot of things. This would be a cute little trashy container. It's a little green pot. And there's a washer in here. I have no idea what that is for. I'm sure it's for something for another day. So I'm just going to put this back in here. And I'm going to put that on my desk. And Rebecca with More Zest is going to explain every day what some of the items are. So I will definitely look for that if I cannot determine what this is for. But I don't want to ruin the surprise for me either, because I have not opened these. I've been really good when they came in back in October. I just put them in a closet and didn't even open the box. So I've been really good with not opening, and I may just wait and find out what this is for. I hope that you enjoyed today's day 2 countdown to Christmas. And until tomorrow, happy diamond painting. Bye.
Does she notice